Hey guys, I wanted to do a video today for a couple of reasons. Number one, to introduce Brianna, who's going to be interning with us this summer. And secondly, to talk a little bit about doing deals as a young person and what I would do if I was somebody who was young today, who was looking at how do I get into deal making. Now, the reason that Brianna is here is because she has an awesome story. When I was back in Chattanooga maybe 5 years ago, I get this email from a 14-year-old girl who reached out and she basically said, hey, I want to be a deal maker. I want to buy businesses. How do I get started? I want to get on the phone with you. And, I couldn't resist. So I'm like, who is this 14-year-old that's talking about buying businesses? I felt like, hey, I'm somebody that started early at this. I was doing this at 19. Who's even thinking about this at 14? And so I get on the phone with Brianna and we started to talk. And not only was she just interested in this, she had big plans. So she came to me and wanted to actually buy an island. So we get on the phone. She starts talking to me about, oh, I got this island that I want to buy, and we're going through kind of the questions on it and that kind of thing. I'm like, you know what, let's maybe hold off on the island right now. But ever since then, she's still going through the process, and now's in school studying finance. And so I wanted to introduce her. She's going to be a part of our team for the summer, interning. And yeah, I'll turn it over to you. So tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello everyone. My name's Brianna, as I said, he said. And yes, it's true, I did email him at 14, and I did have the intentions of buying an island. That didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to, but I stuck with it and I'm still here. 6 years later, I'm ready to get to work and ready to actually get started properly. So a little bit about me. I currently study at the International University of Monaco. It's an international school in the south of France, and I'm studying finance. But I'm over here for the summer, and I wanted to connect with Ace and really get started to put myself on track for when I graduate, to do some deals, and to get to work.
Yeah, well, we're absolutely excited to have you and honored and looking forward to working together this summer. Now, let's talk about you folks that are listening. Maybe there is another 14-year-old somewhere in the world who's thinking, I want to get started with this process. What should I be doing right now? Well, one of the videos that I would have you go back to is the private equity book video. So I did a video a few months ago where I talked about my top 5 favorite books about private equity. I would read each one of those. In addition to that, I would spend time reading stories and biographies about people that have been in this space. So that's everything from people who started investment banks, people who got started with the private equity industry early, people who've done mergers and acquisitions, and learning their stories, because what that's going to be later on is a foundation of knowledge that's going to allow you to be creative in the path that you decide to go down. And as you look at deals, you'll have this wealth of knowledge of all of these other people that have tried things, so that you're not doing everything by trial and error. I mean, we were talking earlier, and one of the things that I felt like when I was 19 doing this stuff was that, I was kind of in the dark, slowly trying to move, my way around, touching things, trying not to trip up and fall. And one of the ways to kind of speed up that process is just reading as much as you can. And now there's just a lot of information out there that's even on YouTube. So I would read those books. The second thing I would start to do is exactly what Brianna did, and it's never too early to start looking at deals and considering deals and reaching out to people and trying to see, how does all this stuff work? Make those mistakes early on, because that, again, is gonna save you from having to make the mistakes later, and it gives you a huge opportunity. The people that are older that are trying to figure this stuff out, they have a learning curve to get over that you can start early on getting over, so that when you get your first deal, you're already there. And then the last thing is, don't feel like because you're young, you can't try to close a deal. I am a very big fan of actually attempting to see if you can buy a business. There's nothing wrong with starting to build relationships with investors, bringing them deals, making money as a bird dog. I talk about that in another video. So you could be the person that goes out and just finds deals and gets really good at that. You can be the person that gets really good at raising capital. And then, you can also be the person that brings a certain skill set to the deal. So, if you've interacted with our team, we have Luis who works with us, and he's somebody who has a lot of expertise in marketing. So that's a skill set. If you are good at Facebook, you are good at social media marketing, you can leverage that skill set to get equity into a deal. So I would try to get a broad level of knowledge early on, and then I would start to get really specific about what's going to be my skill set that I bring to the table. Is it finding the deal? Is it finding the money? Is it being able to run and grow the business after we purchase it? So those are 3 things that you can start to do now, whether you're 14 or 40 and you want to get started buying and selling businesses. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Be sure to subscribe below.